You are working as a police officer at Staffordshire Police in England for 20 years. Also, you are secretary of the EU LGBT Policy Association and member of the National LGBT Network in UK. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, absolutely I am, yes.
Now, in Britain today, many argues that LGBT people have equal rights due to legislation and social acceptance. But there are those people who are saying that there is a long way to go in that battlefield for equal rights and justice. How close do you think that our global society are ready to prove equality and justice for LGBT community? 21st century, and we are still speaking about equal human rights. Why is that so?
Fairness and equality is a journey which applies to females, to people of different ethnicities and different religions. And LGBT people are no different. That journey takes time, and looking at different countries, I can pitch those countries at different levels. So when you look on paper and statistically, Britain is quite advanced. But we still have things to do, things aren't right, and when we've got other countries who come for our support, we're able to show them our journey and how they can improve things.
Many LGBT people still find trusting the police difficult. You know that official reports of the international organizations are noticed that the police made fun of them and verbally abused them if they attempted to file a report. Why is that so, and what is needed to be done to reduce violence?
It should be never be right that you're made fun of if you're going to report a crime. A crime is a crime, no matter which country you are from. And the police are there to serve and protect and to investigate that crime fairly. We're not the moral police. So when somebody comes to us, we've got a crime to investigate, but also whether they are female, whether they have a certain religion, or whether they're LGBT, really should not be bearing unless they've been targeted specifically for that reason, which we would call a hate crime. But trust is a big issue, and we've done lots of initiatives in the UK to be able to build that trust with the community, but that's taken 20 years. Now we've got facilities such as online reporting. We use social media through Facebook and Twitter to put positive messages across, but also we talk to the community and work with the different charities to be able to improve things. The community have the answers. We're no expert, so by bringing them on board we can hopefully make things a lot better.
As a police officer, have you ever faced discrimination in your workplace due to your sexuality or gender identity?
I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't face discrimination. But that discrimination was some years ago. Again, like I say, the policies, the law has moved on, the life's moved on, people have moved on. And now we have officers who join the police who are openly LGBT, and they know their rights, they know they're protected, and they're out and very proud, and they're very accepted by the police.
Now, I asked this question because while I was preparing for this interview, I read some articles and I found some information that people who are belonging to the LGBT community somehow are abused, even by the public institution, to be equal, to find a job in all that institutions. Is it like that, or maybe that it's just a speculation?
Well, we hope it's not like that. There's legislation in place which gives you protection in the workplace, that you can marry, that there is policies around investigation of crimes. With that foundation, people shouldn't experience those things. But let's be honest, it does happen. We can't change everybody, and there are people with very strong views. But that's less. To hold those views is one thing, to actually play it out and do something about it is very different. So it does exist, we have to robustly deal with it, but the foundations has to be, for any country on this journey, is to get the policies right, and then things will follow through.
When we talk about the LGBT people, there is plenty issues which is still not answered, such as access to health, law protection, sexual education in school, and the reaction of the church. So how is the situation within this issue in the UK, and can you compare with the situation in the Balkan countries? Because also I find some information that UK is one of the best country for LGBT community, even for the social life, instead of country like Macedonia, who are crossing, calling the red zone.
Yeah. How do you know what the problem is if you don't have any statistics to back up your case? In the UK, we have around 6,000 LGBT hate crimes reported to the police. And that may sound a lot, and actually the UK police want to bring crime down, we don't want to push it up. But in the case of hate crime, we are encouraged that these numbers are going up. And the reason for that, it shows there is trust in the police to actually tell us what's happening, and we've got a better picture. So when we talk to other countries, like Macedonia, and say how many hate crimes have you had, and the numbers are relatively low, maybe 3 or 4, that is something to be very worried about, because it shows that people aren't reporting, and if you aren't reporting, you can't deal with it. So in the UK, we need to provide, obviously, make sure the help's correct, we need to make education's correct, but we can only do that with the, say again, the right policies in place and through the education. We were at the police academy in Macedonia only a few days ago, looking at police officers and trying to teach them about some of the best practices which we've got. It was very interesting to see a contrast of police officers from an older generation and police officers from the younger generation. And the question was posed to the older generation was, do you know anybody who is LGB or T? And the answer was, no, I don't. But then when we spoke to the younger people, the first thing they said was, yes, we know. Which means that as the generations move, society moves.
You mentioned that you were in Macedonia and you had the opportunity to work with Macedonian police officers.
Yes.
So how was the acceptance by them when you explained the situation, and when you explained that you are also a member of national LGBT network, but you're also police? What's your recommendation for police in Macedonia, for police officer in Macedonia?
Well, let's be frank about this. There will be LGBT police officers in Macedonia, without question. That is the case for every single country. It doesn't just stop with Macedonia. Unfortunately, those officers will have no confidence to be able to be themselves because of being ridiculed by their colleagues, while having policies in place to protect them. So it will be very difficult for those officers at the moment to be conducting their lives. But if they're living a lie, we aren't getting the most out of those officers. And it's important that we look after officers, so people are happy in the workplace, they're more productive in the workplace, and they're better cops. So whilst we'll never join the police as gay cops, we join as police officers who happen to be gay. Being happy, being supported, has to be a benefit to the organisation.
Is there anything that I didn't ask but you want to say at the end?
Yeah, the European Gay Police Association was founded about 10 years ago, and we've got a network of police officers across Europe who are LGBT. We have different associations in different countries, and it's great to see more and more countries coming on board now. And collectively, it gives us the power to be able to help governments and police forces make things better. Like I said, there was a journey, and some of the European countries are not very high on that journey, and we're there to help them to progress. And it's the same for Macedonia and Albania and Serbia. We're there to help. And we do have officers from some of those countries who are in a terrible situation in their home country. They don't have any links, they can't tell their family, but they're in contact with us. So we are indirectly helping them and providing that support.